I think they're all on the horizontal line. I already turned my mode to 3 decimal places. So let me go back to mode. My mode is in 3 decimal places. I like my mode to be in 3 decimal places when I'm doing linear regression. Then I'm going to second quit. Okay, the next thing I want to do is turn diagnostic on. Whenever I turn diagnostic on in my calculator, I'm trying to tell my calculator to please give me the R on R squared. Please, I would like you to calculate R on R squared for me. So I have seen diagnostic on. I hit enter, diagnostic on. Okay. So now I'll go back to my data in STAT. Okay, it's there. So I'll quickly go to start plot and select plot one, any plot. I like plot one though. I'll select plot one and then I'll select scatter plot. My calculator is asking me where is your explanatory variable right there, response variable right there. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to see the scatter plot. Zoom 9, zoom 9. Whenever I try to zoom 9 and I have this argument, I'll second quit. So don't think your calculator is broken. No, just second quit. Zoom 9. Okay, so I see that my scatter plot, even though they are not on the same line, in other words, it is not a perfect positive linear relationship. But they are, the line of best fit will be a line with a positive slope. The scatter plot tells me the relationship between X and Y. So the relationship is going to be a high positive linear relationship. The next thing I want to do is put a line on it. Put a line. I'm going to start and arrow to calc. Do linear regression number 4. My calculator is asking me where is your X is in L1, response is in L2. Do you want frequency? No, I don't need frequency. Okay, this time I'm going to tell my calculator to store my equation in Y1. Remember the steps. So vers, Y vers, Y vers, function Y1. So I'm already there. I will do it again. I'll do it again, especially on review they are clear. Let me tell my calculator again to store my equation in Y1. Okay, I'll go to vers, arrow to Y vers, function Y1. Okay, and then I'll arrow down, then I'll calculate. If I hit calculate, it will give me the equation in slope-intercept form, and it gave me the slope, and I can be told to explain the slope. The slope is positive, therefore, as X rises, Y is rising. There is a positive relationship between them. The y-intercept is 1.157. The R is 0.785. In other words, there is a 78.5% linear relationship between X and Y. Between X and Y. Okay, one thing we have to mention today, we haven't mentioned it before, but it's not late yet, is you might be told to extrapolate using your calculator. And what does that interpolate mean? You might be told to interpolate. For example, suppose I am told to find the value of 4.5 from my regression line. Find the value of 4.5 from my regression line. Yes, I can do that. So what I'm go to, I don't even have to use my, I don't even have to, all I have to do is F of 4.5, F of 4.5. So I'll get my equation and plug slope is, wherever I see X, I put 4.5. And then I'll add the y-intercept plus y-intercept. So A multiplied by 4.5 plus y-intercept. Of course, we know we calculated A and B. Whatever the answer is, it is the F of 4.5. So let's get a calculator and do it. We can do it by hand and we can do it by calculator. To give me the value from my equation, from this equation in y1 right here. I asked my calculator to store my equation in y1. So it's still there. So now I want to ask my calculator to give me a value for 4.5. Anytime I'm for the equation in y1, that's what I do. Vers y vers function y1. So parentheses, what is that I'm told to evaluate? I'm told to evaluate 4.5 from my graph. And if I hit enter, the value of 4.5 from my graph is 4.087. So what I'm doing is interpolation. I'm actually estimating a value from my graph. I'm estimating a value from my graph. But let me tell you what you cannot do. You are not allowed to extrapolate. You are not allowed to find the value of 10 because 10 is not within the range. You are not allowed to find the value of 1 from your graph because 1 is not in the range. I mean, the domain. Domain starts from 2 to 9. Anything outside the domain is not allowed. I want you to know that 6 is not here, but I can evaluate 6 because 6 is within the range from 2 to 9. I can evaluate 7. I can evaluate 8.5, but I cannot. It's a fallacy to evaluate a number outside the. Of course, my lab math will give you a 0. They will ask you to do it and see if you know. In other words, are you allowed to evaluate a number outside the domain from your graph? No, you are not. So if you are told to evaluate a number outside the domain, you said no. You cannot evaluate a number to the right, nor to the left, but you can evaluate numbers between. Okay, so we said that. All right, suppose I am told to find the residual. I can be told to find residual for 4.
Rana,
Residual. Yeah, go ahead.
can you repeat the keystrokes on the TI-84 for doing the interpolation?
Okay.
For maybe let's do it for 6. Like how did you pull up the
Okay.
Y1?
Okay. Let's do it. So to pull up Y, in the first instance, you say vers. You arrow to Y vers function Y1 because that's where my equation is. So I pulled up Y there like that. And then I'm told to evaluate 4.5. So I put a parenthesis and I put 4.5 there. In other words, I'm telling my calculator, please substitute 4.5 wherever there is X in that equation in Y1. So I just told my calculator, substitute 4.5 for me wherever you see X, and then I hit enter. Then I have 4.087. Is it better? Did you get it?
No, I can't get it. I'll figure it
Okay,
out.
yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again. This time, let's evaluate something else. Let's actually evaluate the number that is here. Let's evaluate 4. But I want us to know that the line of best fit is not actually Exact. So whenever I evaluate that now, it's just going to give me a number that's not equal to 2. But let's evaluate 4. So I'm going to go to vars, yvars, function y1, and I want to evaluate 4. All right. So I put 4 in there. When I hit enter, so it did not actually give me 2. It did not actually give me 2. You see, the observed said that 4 is paired with 2. But my line of best fit says that 4 is, so that point is above the line. See, let's look at that point. That point is above the line. So if we zoom 9 again, we'll see the point is above the line. Well, instead of saying above the line, it's below the line, because when I subtract, I have 2 minus that number. So were you able to calculate that now? Do I give you time to try one? Okay, watch it. I want to my Y1 on the main screen. Vars. Vars is on the right side of click.
Okay, I'm there.
Then so I just hit enter. It gives me the value. It gives me the value that that I was looking for. But anyway, so if any value is in my calculator, it shows that. So I'll do it again. Vars yvars function y1. And then if I want to evaluate any number, I can say 4.5. And when I hit enter, does it make sense? Okay, we can continue. Remember, we have to do it again. We're going to do it again on Friday. So let me show you how to use your calculator to do residual. So how do I use my calculator to do residual? By the way, residual is calculated. By the way, residual is calculated as residual is equal to original y minus calculated y, or observed y minus predicted y. Okay, so let me bring I'm going to bring the equation in the function in that y1. So let's bring it. And I'm going to clear everything this time. So I want to find residual for 4 only. I want to find residual for 4 only. So residual for 4, R4 is equal to original observed minus predicted. What does that mean? This implies find what is 4 pairs substitute 4 into the equation in y1. So you just brought y1, what I just did before. Y1, substitute 4. So the observed is 2 given to you. The calculated is So let me get my calculator and get the calculated. So let's get my calculator and get the calculated. So what is that equation? Y, it is 0.651x, 0.651x. So we have 0.651x. I'm going to 0.651. Wherever I see x, I put in 4 plus 1.1 something, 157. Okay, so this is the equation in my calculator that I made. I am calculating residual for 4. So I will substitute 4 in the equation in my y1, and I'm going to get the answer. So whatever answer I have, I put it there. Of course, you know that the residual should be negative because 2 is less than whatever that quantity is. So I can just put all of them in there. So I can just tell my calculator everything. So I'm going to second quit. This is what I'm calculating. 2 observed minus residual of 4. Okay, so vers y vers function y1, substitute 4 there, get the answer. The answer is negative 1.761. Why? Let's see why. Let's zoom 9 again. Zoom 9. Why is the answer negative? Because this is the line of best fit. And this is 4.2 here. This is 4.2 here. And 2 minus this is the value. So 2 minus whatever this is negative 1.57. So actually that is the residual. Residual for 4. If you want to find residual for 5, you do the same thing. So let me find the residual for 5 again. Residual for 5 is going to be 6 minus, bring down y1, vers y vers function y1, then substitute 6 there. It gives you the residual for 6. So the residual for 6 is positive, which means that the point 0.56 is above the line. Let's see, is it true? Is the 0.56 is above the line? If the residual is negative, the point is below the line. If the residual is positive, the point is above the line. So let's see, zoom 9. I want to see the point. Don't you see the 0.56 is above the line? That is why the residual is positive. See, the residual for 8 will be negative. Let's do residual for 8. Let's take it easy. Residual for 8. Let's do that. So the coordinate, well, the y coordinate of 8 is 5. So we type in 5. And 5 is the observed. 5 is the observed. Minus, bring down the y, vers y vers function y1. Substitute the value 5 there. Actually, the value 8 because I'm looking for residual for 8. All right. There goes the residual for 8. Why? Because the point is below the line. Well, let's check. Let's check. Is it true? We can zoom 9 and see the graph. So the 0.58 is below the line. That's why the residual is negative. So anytime your residual is negative, the point falls below the line. But anyway, so what happens if you're told to find the sum of square residual? You can do it with your calculator, actually. You can do it with your calculator, all of them. So this is what we can do. I am going to clear my calculator clear. So what I'm going to do now is go to Start, Edit. I already have L1 and L2, the observed. So in this is my L3. In this L3, I want to tell my calculator to find all the values of, so I am going to, I can actually do the residual here, or find the values substituted in the equation. So what am I going to tell my calculator? What is going to be in L3? What do I want to put in L3? L3 is equal to, bring down the value in Y1. So vers Y vers function Y1. Then substitute whatever is in L1. So I'm finding the values now. So substitute what is in L1, second L1. And I hit enter. It gives me those numbers. I substituted them. This time I will now do L2 minus L3, so I can get the residual. So L2 minus L3, give me all the residuals. You will see some will be negative, some will be positive. So L3 minus, okay, so I'm just going to second L2 minus L3. And if I hit enter, I'll populate my, so notice I have all the negative, everything we had before. So I found the residuals. But the question is going to be, find the sum of the squared residuals. So you don't stop at finding residuals. So when the question says, and it's going to be your homework, find the sum of square residuals. So I'm now going to find the sum. In other words, I have to square each and every one of them. So let me square each and every one of them. So I'm going to get all the residuals in L4, and I'll tell my calculator to square all of them and put it in L5. So don't you see all my residuals in L5? How do you know none of them is negative? So on the main screen right now, I will say second quit. Then I'll go to the main screen and I'll sum L5. I'll sum L5. Whenever you're looking for sum, you have to go to catalog to look for sum. Okay. So I am going to look for sum. And when I get sum, I will tell it to sum L5. And when I sum L5, I have actually found the sum of square residuals. Okay. I found sum. My calculator is asking me, what do you want to sum? I want to sum my L5 because that's where all the residuals are. And I am going to hit enter. So the sum of is 8.747. Do it by hand. By hand is not going to take long. But if you know how to do it by calculator, you are better off. I did it by calculator. Some students said it is longer. They want to do it by hand. So if you want to do it by hand, that's fine. You find the residual, then you square it. Okay. We will take another day and do it again, because I really know that it's what students don't like. And by the way, you can take it away from a statistics textbook, because guess what? If you're taking SAT, they will ask you that. If you're taking anybody who have done linear regression, then they'll ask you what is a residual, and then what is the square residual. What in the world does it mean? Can you show me? All you want to do is when you're told to show, I'm going to zoom 9 again. If somebody tells you to show the residual, all you want to show is the distance from the line to the dot. The distance from this is the residual. Residual, this one is positive. This is a residual, it's negative. This is negative, this is a residual. It's a residual. When you square them all and add them together, they become the sum of square residual. That's it. Any question? If you're still confused, we'll do it again, but that is what it means. I really know it takes some time. That's why I decided to use it to start a review. We'll do it again so that, and by the way, on the test day, that's going to be 20 questions. If you haven't grasped the sum of the square residuals and you see it in there, you can skip one question and still make an A. If you skip one question, you can still make an A. Do all the other ones that you know, and when it comes to the one you don't know and it will take you all the time, then you don't have to do it. But I can tell you it's not difficult. It's long anyway. It is long, but not that difficult. Is there any question? Any quick question that we can answer? So we had just started review. We will review on Wednesday. We will review on, we just have to, whatever is new, we try to put them in.